so-called Negro community has shocked the white man by resisting all efforts to divide us. I think that you and I should continue to shock him by staying and working together in unity, despite religious, political, economic, or educational or social differences.
My people are terrified. We've been terrorized to the point that we're mentally and spiritually paralyzed. We suffered through centuries of dehumanization and degradation. It took the form of slavery and segregation in this land of the free, where oppression's government sanctioned. We're subjected to systemic skin color discrimination, from black codes to Jim Crow to black criminalization. It's been 400 years, it's time for our liberation. We're a nation within a nation, victims of colonization. Where's our revolution and Independence Day celebration? Cause what's the 4th of July to the slave on the plantation? And slavery didn't end, they just changed its implementation. Just check the 13th Amendment, then you'll see why so many black males end up as guilty defendants. The system isn't broken, it's working as it's intended. So I'm not here to fix it, I'm here to end it.
And then again, if we tell you that Negroes are being hung on the tree or being shot down illegally, unjustly, and those Negroes should do something to protect themselves, you say you're advocating violence.
I won't rest till this nightmare we're living in ends, and we see justice for our murdered young innocent men. If black lives really matter, black people need the proof. Cause we are the only ones responsible for our improvement. How can we leave it to someone else to do what's best for us, especially when there's someone else that's historically been oppressing us? We can't use a system built to enslave us to free us, and we really sick if we think that they white Jesus can heal us. Our children need us to defend them, teach them and guide them, show them love and bring out the greatness that is deep inside them. Are we gonna build a nation or stay on the plantation? Keep begging for our freedom or fight for our liberation?
When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, he didn't say get nonviolent. He said praise the Lord, but pass the ammunition.
We must be willing to die together, or we'll definitely die separately. We desperately need unity if liberation is our destiny. If we don't know our history, then we doomed to repeat it. White supremacy is the enemy, but together we can defeat it. They stole us from the motherland, sold us into slavery, forced us to work for them. They got the nerve to call us lazy. In this caste system, we're outcasts, still treated as second class. But I can feel it in the air, revolutions in the forecast. We came for greatness, but they don't want us to know. So they hid our history to keep us under control. All it takes is to take a stand. The enemy's not invincible, but we must come together as one nation indivisible.
20 million black people don't even know their own language. Why? Because he took it away from them. 20 million black people who don't even know the history of their ancestors. Why? Because he took it away from them. And if you're trying to tell them how thoroughly and completely they've been robbed, he says you're teaching hate. That's something to think about. Today you are coming out of college. You're coming out of the leading university. You're trying to go in a good direction, but you don't know which direction to go in.
So family, I want y'all to take a look at this Facebook post that I ran across online here. And we're going to have to break something down because I'm actually going to have to start covering this on my channel because I see a lot of our people, especially our women, are ignorant about, what you're about to learn about right here. Some of you, it might be your first time hearing about this. Some of you probably heard what I'm about to mention, but didn't really have a full understanding of it. So with that said, let's get into what we're looking at. And as you see, this is a Katie O. Brooks that made this comment on Facebook. And she made the simple statement that we hear all the time. And yes, sometimes the men say it too. All men cheat. Okay, sometimes the men flip it around and say all women cheat. So when she made this statement, and this looks like a white woman to me, she definitely don't look black to me, but in response to her statement, you see the brother here, Jared Walker. So he replies, "Oh my God, shut your fat, ugly motherfucking ass the fuck up. You and the rest of these punk ass women on here. Can you even get a man with your deep freezer body having that?" Oh my God, he going in. Just because you had bad experiences with the men you chose does not give your fat, buck-eyed ass the right to lump all of us together. I swear I hate bitches like you. As if women don't do anything wrong, y'all need to be, and I had to blur that part out because he basically was saying that they need to be deleted. But he used the word that starts with EX and ends with D for that. And I'll let you all figure that out. It's word. It's something that you would do to a bug infestation if you had that. But let's examine what we're seeing right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call red pill rage. Okay. Red pill rage is a phase that a lot of the brothers go through when they come across the red pill community and they start to realize that a lot of things that they've been told about women were inaccurate. And these are mostly guys that come from households where they don't have their father, or if they did have their father, they both of their parents didn't really just sit them down and talk to them from a realistic standpoint by the time they reach a certain age about what women will do, you know what I'm saying, and what they won't do, and the realities of those situations. All right. So when you see brothers that go through this, it's funny what he was saying till he got to the point where he talking about having folks deleted here. When they're going through this, they don't understand how to process looking at statements like this. They take it as a personal insult. And yes, it is an insulting thing to say all men cheat, because that's not true. All men do not cheat because all men don't have the option to cheat. To be honest with you, if we're going to look at that, we're going to really just break down this statement for why she said what she said. He's right. All the men that she dealt with probably cheat. Okay. Because unfortunately, a lot of women will go after men that have multiple options, thinking that they're going to somehow beat out the rest of his competition and be number one. If you see that that's what a man got going on, you better accept your place in the pecking order if you're going to try to deal with it. I'm just going to tell you like it is. Okay. I'm just going to tell you like it is. Same thing would apply to brothers. If you see that you chasing the hot chick out here and you shooting your shot at her and she does give you the time of day, I'm going to tell you why that's not a good look. If you can't attract her to you, which means that she has interest in you, brother, she got a horde of men that she look at you as playthings, bro. So all women don't cheat. You just have to use discernment about the ones that you're going after. And if you're going to go after those types of women that have a whole bunch of men after them or what have you, you better not get serious with her until she invests in you as a man. So that's the other end of it for the brothers. But flipping back to this statement where she said all men cheat. Okay. Again, the men that she's going after, because I can imagine how her body looked just by looking at her face. The brother was probably right on, you know what I'm saying, where he was saying what he was saying there. But getting back to this red pill rage thing, the other thing that I can tell is he's probably a good indicator he may be a part of the SYSBM community. And I'm going to tell you why, because This is another race of woman here that you're looking at more often than not. Why would you care what a white woman said or any other race of woman outside of your own making that statement if you're not invested in trying to date them kinds of women? And you can do what you want to do, to be fair. I'm going to tell you why I support the SYSBM movement. First and foremost, yes, as a man, you should have the right to choose who you want to date. Because when you try to criticize them, that's the first thing that they come at. Do what you want to do. Here's the thing I will caution you, though, because you are still black men and you are my brothers. This attitude where a lot of them have where they coons, and yes, a lot of them in that movement are coons. I'm not going to say all, but a lot. A lot of them have this slant towards being black conservatives, but the kind of black conservative that ignores racism and white supremacy. Christian Obumseli. That's all I'm going to say. Don't be the next Christian Obumseli out here while you trying to SYSBM. And for those of you that doesn't know, it means save yourself, black man. Yes, Lord knows we have a lot of problems in our community with our women, but are all of them bad and just not worth dealing with? That's not the case. So what a lot of them will do, they opt to go and date other races of women, and the most extreme amongst them will denigrate and disparage black women. Not all, but a large majority of them do. Okay? See, it's like this. If I don't like spaghetti, okay, I just don't eat spaghetti. I don't have to wake up every day and tell you how much I don't like spaghetti. That go for the divestment dummies and these SYSBM morons that it applies to, because it's not all of them. Okay? If I don't like spaghetti, I just don't eat it. I don't wake up every day and tell you how much I don't like it. Okay? So if you have what you want, whether you're a black man or a black woman, what are you so worried about what you don't want for it? See, you can date outside your race and not disparage your community. And see, here's the other thing why I support the SYSBM movement, especially those that are talking about they getting their passports and going elsewhere, which is nothing wrong with that. Hey, if you want to go get your passport out here, you know, as a well-traveled man myself, I encourage especially young black men to go and travel. That's the best education you're going to get. But one thing you better take in mind, just because you a coon and you in denial about race relations in the world, the rest of the world ain't going to play your game. The rest of the world ain't going to play your game. Remember the young brother that went over to Greece and then they ended up jumping on him because they were saying he was trying to get at their women? You can ignore racism and white supremacy, but it's not going to ignore you. And that applies to these buffer class groups that come over here and are classified as white. Okay? So the reason why I support the extremists in our community that this, oh, you hate black women. I mean, boy, if y'all see them tenants on their website, boy, the way they were talking about, they revised some of it and tried to tone a little bit of it down, but man, the original draft of that shit, oh, black women are demons, they're the enemy, this, that, the third. Yeah, we got some women out here that description applies to, but you ain't finna tell me all these sisters are like that. I know, because I know too many that doesn't fit that damn description. I support them getting the fuck out of our dating community and our procreation pool, because if you are that weak-minded to the point where out of millions of us, you can't find one good black woman, and I'll apply it to the divestment dummies too. Out of millions of us, you can't find one good black man. Yes, get your ass the fuck out of our community. Don't come back. But here's one thing that I ask all of you to do that this applies to, that have this I hate the black community mindset, whether it's the black men or the black women. Wherever you go, wherever you lay, that's where your ass stay. When something happens to you, you can't flip back to, oh, I'm black. No, if you hate black people, you are not black anymore. If you hate black men or black women, you are not black anymore. So all your support, if something happened, it need to come from that community that you ran to the nest under. And see, brothers, I'm going to tell y'all something. Do what you want to do. And I support those of you that hate our people to get the fuck out of our community. But for the ones of you that don't have that extremist viewpoint, that have adopted the SYSBM mentality, I do understand your point. I get it, man. A lot of y'all out here, boy, y'all just don't have what it takes to attract the right kinds of women to you, or some of you are stuck in a rut where you keep going after the same kinds of women and thinking that you're going to get different results. See, by the time you get a certain age out here in the dating arena, you should learn to spot patterns on things that are red flags, the men and the women, okay? So now if you ignore them red flags just because of what you want is attractive to you, you're going to get the same results. You're going to get the same results. There's no way you're not going to get the same results. You keep picking the same types of men, same types of women out here. And then you get online and you're mad about it and you just spewing venom and hate for the whole race of people because what you keep choosing. I'll tell you like this, man. For those of you in the movement, like I said, the SYSBM movement, that don't hate our people, I want you to be mindful of race relations out here so that you don't get yourself caught up in situations, okay? Because see, what's going to happen is, due to the way a lot of people in y'all movement that you got going on, the way that they feel about black folks, when something happened to them, they're not going to get our support. See, we take that just as serious as a non-FBA person that call us all kinds of accountants like Christian Openselling and his family. And then when something happened to you, now we supposed to forget all that bullshit. Same thing for the divestment dummies out here calling black men bullet bags. No, we bullet bags. You don't get no support from us. I don't give a damn what you look like. I don't care what happened to you. If you have hatred for my people, I don't have no love for you. I don't look at you as a black person anymore. You took yourself out of our community. So, brothers, I want y'all to keep that in mind. Something happened to you while you ride with them guys, especially for those of you that don't call that shit out in that little movement that y'all got going on. Just remember, if something happened to you, people understand and see these sentiments that the extremists in the movement have. And that don't represent all of y'all, but I'm going to tell you something. If you're going to be a part of a movement, especially one that you call a group, it better be some type of regulation going on. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what community you move to, you still a black man. Same thing for the divestment dummies. They still black women. And see, far as you brothers out here that's in this movement, traveling to these other countries, you know, it's one thing if you're looking for a wife. That's cool. I encourage that, especially if it's one in the black diaspora, okay? Go ahead and do that. But see, you better understand one thing. For those of you that want to run to Brazil, running over to Asian countries, you know what I'm saying? Those of you that's going up here to Europe, places like that, just all over the place, you better understand one thing. There is never going to be an acceptance by another race of men of a mass influx of other men moving into their territory and just scooping up their women. I have to go back to the situation with the brother in Greece again. I think Bakari Henderson was his name. He wasn't aware of that, apparently. When you go to these other countries, man, you are a guest. Don't get yourself in no situation, man, because you out here trying to chase after they women, and then you fall away from home with no backup and something happened to your black ass. Because no matter how much you coon, and those of you that talk about black people in the third person, you niggas this, you niggas that, you still black. The world is going to let you know that. Now, are we treated differently when we go outside the country? Yes, we are. Being a black American does have a slight bit of privilege when you go outside the country until you do something to disrespect the people of that country that you in. And then it's just, look at this nigga. Don't believe me. Put what I said to the test and you'll learn the hard way. So now further going into what I was stating about the red pill ideology, because again, all those guys don't think like this. Usually that red pill rage phase for the guys that's in that community, it lasts for a short amount of time until they start to get themselves together and just focus on getting what they want, whatever that choice may be, which is the healthy thing to do. But some of them stay stuck in that and they don't know how to process it to the point that they have a strong hatred for black women. And that moves into the black pill phase. That shit is very fucking dangerous. And see, as funny as some of the jokes that he was cracking on this heifer was, I suspect that he's in that black pill phase where they just feel like everything is hopeless. There's no use to even try. A lot of it comes from sexual frustration because they can't get the types of women they want. But see, for you incels, cause yeah, they're basically incels. Those of you that's talking about MGTOW, men going their own way, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro, that acronym just don't sit right with me. Y'all, I don't know what way they going, but if it ain't no women around, go ahead, bro. More power to you. I can't follow you down that path, but this is something I want y'all to think on, man. When it comes to you dealing with any type of woman that you choose, right? The ones that reject you, okay? The ones that you can't get that you want. Have any of you ever stopped to sit down? And ladies, I want you to consider this too. For the men that you chasing that you can't get, that reject you, because Lord knows y'all don't handle rejection well. When you are rejected, brothers and sisters, have you ever stopped and paused to think that that rejection might be a protection for you? I'm going to say it again. Have you, black man, have you, black woman, ever stopped to think that that rejection that you experience may not be a bad thing? It may be the best thing for you. Understand some, brothers and sisters, if you are rejected out here, a lot of times that person may know they ain't shit. And they may say, you know what? I ain't shit. I know that this person is probably decent. I ain't even gonna do it to them. Let me just not give them the time of day. Sometimes you better start thinking about it from that perspective, okay? You might have dodged the biggest bullet in your life. Just because she got a fat ass and she fit the physical spec, she might not be shit upstairs. She might be nutty in a fruitcake, man. A lot of you are in situations like that now, crying about baby mamas and stuff, got you on child support. First of all, you should be forming families before you start having kids. If she ain't worth your last name, she ain't worth your seed, bruh. Don't put yourself in that situation. You see what the family court system is for a black man in this country, for all men, but I'm just talking about my community. Sisters, let me get on you. Sometimes instead of thinking that rejection is such a horrible thing, because boy, y'all egos just can't handle that when you rejected by men that you like. We ain't talking about any man, the men that you like. Sometimes you better stop and say, hey, it might be a reason this dude ain't dealing with me. He probably know that he gonna have multiple options. And most men, you know, you got a lot of men that just can't tell a woman up front that, hey, look, if I get involved with you, hey, I'm not going to just make you number one. You know what I'm saying? It could happen, but you going to have a place in the pecking order. Now, either you can take it or leave it. Most guys don't have the balls to just say that. So some guys will just opt the route of not dealing with you altogether. If you a decent woman, okay? Sometimes what y'all be pursuing when y'all out here competing with other women, man, you don't stop to think that, hey, maybe I'll need to fall back and just observe what this joker is doing. And all these women that he dealing with, shit, you don't know what type of dude he might be. Sometimes fall back and observe things. Rejection is not always bad, okay? And see, this is something that I can say to the men and the women as we get ready to close here. If you are rejected, that's cool, man. That's not the only individual out here. Fall back and go after something else. Better yet, see if you can attract something else. Sometimes that's the best way to do things. Attract what you want to you. And that takes a bit of self-work. And boy, that's one thing that I see in our community today, the men and the women, a lot of them just don't want to do. Take the time to work on yourself so that you attract what you want to you. That takes some work, man. Okay. So I want y'all to consider what we looking at here. Okay. Like I said, he was roasting the shit out of her ass, but this brother's state of mind, man, I'm going to tell you, he's not really fit to be dating anybody. Nor is this heifer up here talking about all men cheat, because what's going to happen is if she goes into another relationship thinking that all men cheat, she's going to be the one to do most of the dirt in a situation where she's going to feel like, let me get him before he get me. This brother down here, with all this pent-up frustration and rage that a simple comment online make that he's so invested in, he's not going to be the type of brother that can go into a relationship and give that woman what she needs as far as a clean slate. Everybody should go into a relationship with a clean slate. Don't bring your baggage from your extra relationships and experiences into that new situation with that new man or that new woman. But that's it. I want y'all to reflect on this. Black first, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you all in future content.
If you build the first floor, it's economic. Build your businesses and your industries. Control business and industry, and put that pulls in your money, and hold that money, and practice group economics with it. Arab and Asian money bounces 12 to 13 times what it leaves. Jewish money bounces 18 times. Black folk got to learn how to practice group economics. Black Americans spend every penny they get outside their own community. Then you take the money and the wealth that you get from that first floor and go to the second floor. The second floor is politics. You then take that money on the first floor and you control your politics. Black folk must quit allowing people to tell them to go out and vote. Vote for what? Nobody's going to do anything for black folk in politics. Politics is controlled by money, major corporations who got the money. That's what controls politics. If you have no money, you have no say-so, you have no benefits coming. So you take your money and you control, and you take your money from the first floor, you buy every politician on the second floor. And then the politician you can't buy, you rent or lease them to get what you need. Then once you get the second floor under control with your politician, with your money, then you go to the third floor. The third floor then is the police department and the court system. You take your money from the first floor and your politics on the second floor, and you control the court system and the police departments. Then the fourth floor then is media. You then take the money that you generate off the first floor from business and industries and you go after radio stations, TV stations, newspapers, and cable systems so that you can now inform and communicate with your own people. Right now, black folk own and control less than 35 thousandths of 1% of the media in the United States. Out of 12,000 radio stations, black folk own about something like about 75, 80. That's all. You own no cable systems. You don't have a daily newspaper. You have nothing of importance. You got about one black TV station. And so you can't communicate with your people. You can't inform your people. You can't do anything. You can have Rush Limbaugh and all the rest of the guys talking about racism all day long and bad-mouthing you. And O'Reilly. They can call black folk all kind of names all day long. What are you going to do? You can't respond. You can't communicate with your own people because you don't have an economic base. 51% of all the prisoners in the United States are black people. Even though you only make up 12% of the population. That's no accident. It's because you don't control the economic